Good afternoon and welcome to the King Power Stadium. Game week 2 of the Barclays Women's Super League very much underway, and we have multiple times champions Arsenal travelling north to take on the new Blue Revolution at Leicester City. A week on from an encouraging opening day point away to Liverpool, Amandine Mikel said they have to play the perfect game to get a result this afternoon. Those rushing into the home of the Foxes today come with hope and belief that today will be perfect in its entirety. An opening day Arsenal game with a Viviana Miedema name on the score sheet wasn't anything out of the ordinary, but it was a new sensation as the club's record scorer now in Manchester City Blue opened her account against the Gunners in a 2-2 draw on the opening weekend. A title tussle that saw the point shared, and I'm sure not the last time we will see those two do battle as the WSL campaign really takes flight. After a promising opening weekend, Leicester City are unchanged from last week's point in the northwest. That means that Noemi Mouchon continues to lead the attack. The former Rams forward looked sharp in spells last weekend, and we'll hope that this afternoon is the game to open their WSL account. Jutta Rantanen did get on the score sheet last weekend, taking her tally to 12 goal involvements in 23 WSL matches, the joint most in the Leicester squad level, with number 3 Sam Tierney. One alteration on the bench as Shana Chosanote comes in. As for the visitors, it's a debut between the sticks for Daphne van Domselaar. Signed from Aston Villa in the summer, the Dutch goalkeeper came in as competition for Manuela Zinsberger and gets the nod from the manager this afternoon. And Laura Van Reuter is in for their 50th appearance in Arsenal red. Alessia Russo has been chosen to lead the Gunners' firepower. Russo has 6 WSL goals against Leicester City, including a hat-trick in Manchester United's 5-1 win in 2023, I should say. She looks to continue a 4-game goal-scoring streak against Leicester City. Plenty of optimism, plenty of hope, plenty of expectation between the two of these. A lot of people fancying the way that Arsenal have done business in the summer despite losing Viviana Miedema. Leicester City, Matt Beard, the Liverpool manager last weekend, saying they could be the surprise package, and I think on the performance of last weekend, that surprise will come as no shock to many after a couple of weeks, because they look very, very good in patches. Very, very worthy of the 1-1 draw last weekend as well. Well, week 1 in the Barclays Women's Super League proved what we already knew. This season was going to be harder fought than ever before. The Foxes are on the hunt for their first WSL win of the season in front of a noisy King Power Stadium. Do they have the defence to stop the Arsenal blazing their way to 3 points? We are about to find out. Noemi Mouchon, the player with the ball at feet. And we are underway in the Barclays Women's Super League. Leicester City versus Arsenal. Second week of what will be an enthralling WSL season. Delighted to have your company for this one. As Juliette Thibault early flicks it forward. Cooney cross into Lea Valti. Here's Lotte Wubben-Moy. Mouchon flicks it inside for Goodwin. Momiki trying to race down the outside. Goodwin chopping and changing, does really well to skip away as well. Trying to drag it inside, it comes off of Beth Mead, who can deal with it and clear Arsenal lines. Emily Fox with the throw. Momiki. Flicked in behind for Missy Goodwin to chase. Really calm to just flick the ball through the legs of Missy Goodwin, and now Beth Mead. Not a huge amount of space to play with, but Vauban Moy clears. Lovely first touch from Russo. Stolen back, and Ruby Mace, who of course has history with Arsenal, the former academy product, slides it in for Rantala. Flag is up for offside though. Already, little warning sign perhaps. We saw the quick thinking of Leicester City last weekend, and Jutta Rantala's goal coming very much on the counter-attack. A quickly taken free kick that allowed Rantala in behind. Cooney cross. Mace. Looked like a cul-de-sac of Arsenal red shirts, but finds a way out and nudges it to Sophie Howard. And Thibault. Momiki. Skips through to Daphne van Domselaar. Vauban Moy. Gets it and gives it back to Cooney Cross. Fox. Now Leah Valti. Russo trying to get in behind, and Thibault having to be alert and flicks it behind for a Arsenal corner. Just a quick update in that late change. Very late one, in fact, in the warm-up. Emily Fox coming in for Veen Reuter, whose 50th appearance will have to wait. McCabe. Now Cooney Cross. Tried to skip away from one and skips away from two. Still going. Leonardson Mornham into Beth Mead. Leonardson Mornham. McCabe. Vauban Moy. Podina just prods it into Cooney Cross, and now an opportunity for Fox on the far side now. Lovely little layoff from Russo. Mace does brilliantly under pressure, as does Goodwin, but looked like she'd run out of room. Keeps a hold of it, earns a ripple of applause, and rightly so. Came into her opposite number and opposite armband wearing Katie McCabe. A little bit overzealous into the tackle there was Julia Thibault. Plenty interested parties for Arsenal. Two great options, whether it's the right foot of Beth Mead or the left foot of Katie McCabe. It will be Mead, swept out and headed away by Thibault again. A little bit too much on it from Mace, who tried to release Rantala. Vabenmoy. Vabenmoy. Valti. Slid into an opportunity building on the far side. Lovely feet though from CJ Bott against Caitlin Ford. Swept clear by Mace. Here is Emily Fox. You have to wonder how much preparation she actually got. One of the latest changes I can remember, as Veen Reuter's 50th appearance has had to be put on pause for the moment being and change after something in the warm-up. We do hope that Laura Veen Reuter is okay, if there is anything that does prevent her playing a part this afternoon. Especially this early on in the season. Injuries is not something you want to be seeing for anyone. That's a lovely idea towards Alessia Russo. Leonardson Mornham just tried to skid the ball along the surface. Foul on Julia Thibault. We saw this patient approach from Leicester City last week. They had real flurries within the game against Liverpool and very comfortable on the ball, and certainly something that Amandine Mikel has clearly highlighted that they would like worked on, and very much a team in her image already. Momiki. Here is Mouchon. Now beginning to step forward. Little. And then decides to check back. Did begin to motor forward. It looked like it was going to open up for Emily Fox, but only pushed a little bit forward and then decided to chop back and once again keep a hold of it. Now it's Vabenmoy to step forward a little. And a little bit more. Cooney cross. McCabe. Little 1-2 and Ford gets it back. Really well defended first from CJ Bott just to make sure there wasn't a free run at it for Caitlin Ford, and then finally Ruby Mace who can step across. Arsenal corner will be taken by Beth Mead. McCabe changes the angle, so a little bit more to work with for Mead. It's a lovely ball in as well. At the far post is Alessia Russo. Some of the Arsenal fans in the away end thought that had been tucked in the side netting, but it's the wrong side. It's a good chance, especially for a player of Alessia Russo's quality. Lovely ball in from Beth Mead, just hung it up towards the far post. Perhaps she may have expected somebody to get a touch on it as it comes all the way through. Then tries to just sweep it in the near post. It's an early chance. An early chance that goes begging. Mace. Really tidy on the ball. Bot. Tierney's going to continue chasing and force Cordina all the way back. Now McCabe. Forward very much playing on that left-hand side at the moment, giving plenty of central space to Alessia Russo. Cooney cross. Here's Vauban-Moy. 12.5 minutes played here at the King Power. The only real chance to report on was Alessia Russo's one only a few moments ago after a short corner worked its way to Beth Mead, who wrapped her foot around it, and it was Russo at the far post who just tried to slide it in the near. Vauban-Moy. Mead's little header inside finds Leonardson Mawson. McCabe. CJ Bott takes the contact and will happily take the throw in. Momiki. Rantala rolls it out for Janice Kamen, and the noise can build a little bit as Leicester City step over the halfway line for the first time in a few moments, and the onward pass to Missy Goodwin was a little bit over-ambitious. Vauban-Moy. Valti. Now Cordina. Now Fox, just dragged back by Missy Goodwin, and it will be a Arsenal free kick, and before everyone can set and start to venture forward, Beth Mead gets on with it. McCabe. Leonardson Mornham into McCabe again. Now Ford. Leonardson Mornham wants it back. Lovely little back heel towards Caitlin Ford. Had to be dealt with, and Sophie Howard just stabs it behind for an Arsenal corner. Lovely build-up play on that far side. Lovely little reverse back heel. Beth Mead once more tasked with taking this Arsenal corner. Once again goes short to Katie McCabe. Stands out towards the far post, headed away, and Russo's going to make sure it's still in play from an Arsenal perspective. Valti. Floated towards the far post. Vauban-Moy's gambling. Swept clear. Leicester City, though, answering all the questions that Arsenal are beginning to ask. Good tackle from Mace. Russo's penalised for a high boot, and Sophie Howard bundling through to take the ball and clip in the face as well by the look of it. Thibault. safe to say it's not been a happy fixture for Leicester City in the past. They've lost all 6 of their WSL meetings against Arsenal. As Mouchon just runs out of ground, and it's been quite a concerning aggregate score of 23-2, conceding 4 more goals in 4 of the last 6 games. So this afternoon will be a real test and perhaps an underlining statement of how far Amandine Mikel's side have come, how much of a perhaps surprise play that they will be in the WSL this season. Last few years it's been about survival and trying to retain WSL status, where I think there's a good few that feel that they could be perhaps a little bit more ambitious than that this season. The acquisitions they've made off the pitch in the summer, the profile of the player that they're bringing in, the coaches' clear quality, and the support that they're building here at the King Power as well. This is certainly a football club going in the right direction. Rantala just bundled to the floor, and Leavalti doesn't contest it. Here's Thibaut. Momiki. Fox does really well. They can't fully clear it the first attempt. We'll get a second attempt, and for a bit of juggling, finds a teammate in Kyra Cooney-Cross. This style of play, nothing new to Arsenal fans who have made the trip up the M1. Patient, pensive approach at times from Jonas Eiderval. So often the benchmark for how to play football. Rantala. Now Goodwin. Momiki's making a surging run in field. Does get the ball, Yuka Momiki. Lays it back to Missy Goodwin. Fox comes steaming in. Now Russo, lovely turn of pace. Here goes Alessia Russo. Forward one side and Leonardson more than the other. CJ Bott does ever so well. Referee got in the way. Julia Thibaut. Mouchon. Now Cayman. Intercepted, and Valti can roll it into Russo. Immediately tries to just prod it off and get going again. Ford. Cooney-Cross. Mead. Reverse pass for Emily Fox to chase onto. Vabenmoy. Slid into Russo, tried to hold off Thibaut, and then was a little bit late on Ruby Mace. Certainly looked like it was a little bit late from Alessia Russo, and Ruby Mace feeling the effects of it. Cayman. Miki just tried to sweep it on, but once again, Emily Fox has stood up to the task. Now Leonardson Mornham. Fox with a quick feet and comes off of the Arsenal fullback for a Leicester City throw-in. Goodwin. Came in under pressure. Bott and Howard between them, although Russo might sneak in. Tebow back to Kopp. Rantala. Tebow. Miki just nudges it outside to Janice Cayman. Tebow. Looking to just flick it in towards Noemi Mouchon, try and get Leicester's number 10 on the ball a little bit deeper and start to feel their way into the game. Fox just prods it inside, but Mead was held up by Goodwin, and then Tebow clears to safety. Midway through this first half, still goalless. The best and probably only sighting at goal falling to Alessia Russo after a short corner routine where McCabe and Mead changed the angle before Russo peeled off at the far post and didn't quite make the contact that Alessia Russo would have liked. Mentioned before the game, but absolutely terrific record against Leicester City as Alessia Russo scored in their last 4 appearances against Leicester City. 6 goals in that time, including a hat-trick for Manchester United in 2023. Quite comprehensive 5-1 win that afternoon, but as we keep coming back to, this is a very different Leicester City side to the one you'd have seen in 2023. Feels like it wasn't that long ago, but in terms of development and the change in this club, it very much is. Ford. Cordina. McCabe. Just delayed it for a second and perhaps allowed Bott to get back in position. Referee very nearly playing a 1-2 again. Cooney cross. Robin Moy long towards Caitlin Ford, who's hugging that touchline. Rantala does really well. Leaves McCabe on the floor. Fox. Out to McCabe. Leonardson Mornham in behind for Ford to chase, and CJ Bott had to be sharp and ready at the expense of an Arsenal corner. Mead short to McCabe again. No secret to this routine, but it's still working. Fired in towards the near post, headed away this time by Tebow. Fox. Russo. I think that's come off the Arsenal player, hasn't it? It has. Thibaut. Feels like Arsenal need to start to shift into first gear in the next couple of weeks. Convincing win against BK Häcken in midweek will have given them the confidence they needed. Vauti, Caldente, Mead and Leonardson Mornham on the score sheet in midweek. They host Everton next weekend in the WSL before a very difficult trip to Bayern Munich, and then the 12th of October, Arsenal versus Chelsea in the WSL. So it does feel like these are the sort of games where you start to iron out any pre-season rust. Certainly weren't showing any of that in midweek, but Leicester City will be, and are proving to be, a little bit stiffer of a test than Häcken did. Not to undermine or underestimate what BK Häcken are capable of. Obviously went deep in the Champions League in recent seasons. Tierney into Rantaler. Tried to get a body in front, and McCabe and Vubben-Moy are the two who can deal with it. Vauti has it stolen by Mace unfairly, according to the referee. Much to the displeasure of a number of Leicester City players, including Yuka Momiki, who was visibly frustrated at the official's call. McCabe, lovely ball. Leonardson Mornham with a bit of space up against Mace, who got herself in position, and then it was the Arsenal player who tackled themselves. Cooney cross. Mead. Anywhere will do for the moment for Ruby Mason. It's turned into a really nice pass actually for Missy Goodwin, who tried to just flick it and chase. Vauti. Cordina. McCabe. Bot's header is going to fall for Ford, is it? Really well defended by CJ Bott. Didn't give it up for a second and wins it the second attempt. Tierney into Mouchon. Haven't seen hardly any of Noémie Mouchon, and tried to get Momiki in play. Tierney. Mouchon once more. Into Mead. Vubben-Moy. Kept in play by Ford and prods it towards Russo. He nearly gets lucky with a bounce, and once again CJ Bott having to do some defending on this side now. Fox restarts play quickly. Valti. Now Cooney cross. Mead trying to get some change out of Bot on that side now. Cooney cross. Deflected behind for another Arsenal corner. Corner count beginning to tick, but thus far every question has been answered assertively by the Leicester City defence. Good number travelling down to support Arsenal this afternoon, travelling up I should say. McCabe. Mead. Back to McCabe. Lisa Kopp. Just make sure. Never really in danger of causing any sort of trouble for the Leicester City goalkeeper. Lovely ball into Ruby Mace. First touch is excellent again from Mace. The long diagonal pass is straight out of the top drawer as well. Rantala. Mamiki screaming for it on the edge. Rantala goes alone! Oh, roused the crossbar! What a hit from Yuta Rantala. Should be said every week how good Yuta Rantala is on both feet. Such a unique skill to be able to go either side. Cuts inside on the left foot this time and smashes one against the crossbar. And all of a sudden, it's the home fans who are up off their seats and getting a little bit more lively. Ruby Mace, who is instrumental into creating that wonderful diagonal pass. Few players as technically gifted in that deeper lying midfield role than Ruby Mace. Highly thought of at both Arsenal and Manchester City, but it's now Leicester City. She's plying her trade permanently, only 21 years of age, and clearly with a very big, bright Lioness's future ahead of her as well. Here goes Cayman. Still driving. Cayman. Tackled by Cordina, who gets in the way, and now, with 10 minutes to go, it's time for Arsenal to weather the storm a little bit. See that strike again from Yuta Rantala a minute ago. Does everything right. Mamiki screaming for it. Uses Mamiki as a bit of a dummy. Gets half a yard, and what a hit that is. Centimetres from giving Leicester City the opener. And now, just to explain the point, Rantala taking the corner with a right foot. Brilliant player. It's a good ball in as well towards the near post. It was Howard who was gambling. Momiki. Bot. Now Mace. Mouchon. Still tussling away, Noemi Mouchon, and gets past McCabe. Daphne van Domselaar's got a problem here by the look of it. We've already had one landmark appearance struck from the Arsenal annals with Ravine Reuter ruled out moments before the game and replaced in the warm-up by Emily Fox, what should have been her 50th Arsenal appearance. Now Daphne van Domselaar on her Arsenal debut, feeling some discomfort. So the best Arsenal chance of the game was quite a bit earlier now, but that's this corner routine we've seen a number of times. McCabe to Mead to the far post, and there's Russo, who will probably be disappointed when she sees that back a little bit later. Does come at her quickly and has an excellent scoring record, but you'd certainly back that to not be the last sighting at goal for Alessia Russo in this fixture. Looks like perhaps Taking a bit of a whack in the melee of defending that corner, Daphne van Domselaar. Bit of discomfort, and will be one to keep an eye on. Still in discussion with the Arsenal medical staff. I think looks okay to carry on. Back underway. Here's Robin Moy. Van Domselaar. Great feet from Cordina, but has been robbed, and now Momiki. Referee has judged that to be a little bit over physical from Noemi Mouchon. I could tell you there's a number of frustrated faces on the Leicester City bench who certainly don't agree with that. Fox. Vaban Moy. Little flick round the corner. Looking for Leonardson Mornham, and Mace again in the way. A real tangle with Emily Fox. Fox not giving it up either, nor is Mace, but it's fallen for Alessia Russo. Russo still going at goal. What a save that is. Lisa Kopp, my word. Has to react so quickly because it comes at her so fast. Brilliant little breakaway from Alessia Russo here. And just slides it into the path of on-rushing Arsenal midfielder who tries to pick out the top corner. It's a really, really clever save. Russo towards the far post. Look for all the world that McCabe was lining that one up. Mead. Valti. Fox. Fizzes it in. It's a lovely little cushion from Vaban Moy. Cordina. Russo tries to run around the outside of Cayman. And is still going, Alessia Russo. Tucked behind by Sophie Howard. Beth Mead. Oh, just bounced underneath. CJ Bott, I think that was, who made the first contact and slithered through to Lisa Kopp. Half-time rapidly approaching. Both teams with, I suppose, a half sighting at goal. I mean, it would be unfair to say that Rantzler hitting it from 25 yards after cutting in was a golden opportunity. Certainly all of her own making. Free kick in a good area now, though, as Ruby Mace is penalised for a foul on Leonardson Mornham. this be then? Beth Mead or Katie McCabe? Perhaps a little dummied Arsenal wall there as well. Rolled back for McCabe to strike. I think it actually cannons off of one of the Arsenal players stood in that fake wall. Mead keeps it in play. Or perhaps not. Flag did go up. Momiki. Just bounces underneath Mouchon and Vabenmoy deals with it. We're going to get 2 minutes added on at the end of this first half. So 3 minutes in total for either team to strike a late blow in this first half. Cayman, Momiki. Now Mead. Into Russo. Rolls away and into the centre of the pitch. Alessia Russo still going. Russo tries to get the shot off. Charged down by Ruby Mace in the right place again. Fox. Mead. Codina. McCabe. Ford. Trying to find Leonardson Mornan, but it'll be out for a Leicester City goal kick.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 2 minutes added time to be played. That's 2 minutes added time.
Kopp shortens it to Thibault. Flick on by Mouchon. Goodwin can't quite get in front of it, and Emily Fox does. Mead takes it quickly. Codina. Lovely spin from Laia Codina. Tierney. Brantala. Momiki tries to hang out a leg to prevent the forward movement of this Arsenal attack as Emily Fox goes gallivanting down the right-hand side. Thibault perhaps didn't realise that Russo was as close to Kopp as she was. Cayman. Thibault. Mouchon. Tackle by Vabenmoy. Bounce falls kindly for Leicester City and CJ Bott. Here's Jutta Rantanen. Only seconds remaining of this first half. Mace. Now Goodwin. We've played the two. Missy Goodwin driving the field, wants to get the shot off and does. Cannons off of Vabenmoy and hooked clear. And the referee draws to a close. A cagey first 45 minutes here at the King Power Stadium. Only one real sighting at goal for either team. The first one falling to Alessia Russo, the exact person that Arsenal would have wanted that half sighting at goal after a neatly worked short corner from Katie McCabe, and Beth Mead swung it into the far post. Russo unable to find the back of the net, although some Arsenal fans thought she had when the side netting rippled. As for Leicester City, very much still in the game and very eerily similar to their performance against Liverpool last weekend. Very, very positive in patches. Jutta Ranteler at the heart of that, as was Ruby Mace. Both of those combining for Ranteler to rattle the crossbar from 20 yards for Leicester's best sighting at goal. But at half-time here at the King Power Stadium, it's Leicester City 0, Arsenal 0. Welcome back to the King Power for this second half in the Barclays Women's Super League. Still goalless in the first half with Leicester City and Arsenal. No changes by the look of things at half-time, so it will be Arsenal and Alessia Russo who will get us back underway, who have Daphne van Domselaar in between the sticks for the first time this afternoon. A back four of Fox, Cordina, Vubbenmoy and McCabe, Mead, Valti, Cooney Cross, Leonardson, Mornham and Caitlin Ford in behind Alessia Russo up front. For Leicester City, unchanged also, and unchanged from last weekend's 1-1 draw against Liverpool as well. So it's Lisa Kopp in goal, a back four of CJ Bott, Howard, Thibault, captain Janice Cayman, Ruby Mace, the holding midfielder in front, Jutta Ranteler, Tierney, Mamiki and Goodwin, and then leading the line, number 10, Noemi Mouchon. Plenty of options for both from the bench. Thus far, none needed, apart from the change pre-match, of course, in the warm-ups. It was supposed to be a special afternoon for Laura Veen-Reuter, who is poised to make their 50th appearance for Arsenal, but a late change saw Emily Fox come in. First corner of the second half, Beth Mead. Headed away by Howard and then Momiki, although not fully away. Valti. Settles for the Arsenal throw-in. McCabe. Vubbenmoy. Lovely first touch from Leonardson Mornham. Here's Mouchon. Just charged down just about in time from Vubbenmoy. Otherwise, Ranteler looked to be free and open on this near side. Tierney. It's a lovely ball for Goodwin to chase, but it was Emily Fox who was first on the scene and can relax and keep possession for Arsenal. Glad to say that whatever that discomfort for Daphne van Domselaar was in the first half, she is okay and looks to be moving freely. McCabe. CJ Bott gets a hold of it. Momiki. Foul given against Kyra Cooney Cross. Despite the positivity in the air around the King Power, it's not really been the Foxes' happiest home ground. They've lost 4 of their last 4 WSL matches. Last win coming here in February, a 5-2 win over Bristol City, who now ply their trade in the Women's Championship, as Ruby Mace gives everyone a little bit of a scare. They've lost 64% of their games on home soil overall, which is the highest percentage of any current WSL club. But, and I do stress that these statistics don't really take into consideration the Leicester City you see before you now. Certainly under Amandine Mikel, we feel that there's going to be a lot more offered by this Leicester City team. Already we've seen in the first 48.5 minutes here this afternoon, and the 90 up in St Helens last weekend for the opening game against Liverpool. Here's Jutta Rantzler. Bounces off the shins of Rantzler and then Tierney. But now the flag goes up. Tierney pleading their case to the official. And on the other side of the coin, usually Arsenal are fairly adept at finding a way in their opening away league game of the season. I'll come back to that in a second as Caitlin Ford tries to run around the outside of CJ Bott, but dealt with well by the defender. They're unbeaten in their first away game in their last 6 WSL seasons. Haven't failed to get something on the road since 2017 when they lost 5-2 to Manchester City. However, they did draw last season, their first trip on the road to Manchester United. Prior to that, it was 5 straight wins away from home to start the campaign. Here's Beth Mead. Swung in underneath Lisa Kopp, who makes a good save. Cooney Cross just lays it back for Emily Fox. Now Valti. Back to Fox. Cooney Cross might be the option beside. Instead sweeps it towards goal, and Vubben Moy had retained her position in the centre of the box. Mace prods it out for an Arsenal throw-in. Mead. Cooney Cross. Now Rantzler just bumped into by McCabe. Mace. Lovely feet by Rantzler. And the switch of play as well. Ripples of applause, rightly so, around the King Power for that. Goodwin came and surging up on the outside. Swept into a good area, headed up by Vubben Moy, but not fully away. Mace. Once again, Ruby Mace. Thinks about the shot and does take the shot on. Van Domselaar never really concerned by a long distance effort from Ruby Mace. Vubben Moy. Valti. Now Cordina. McCabe, first time in field. Looking for Cooney Cross, but it's important touch there by Mamiki, and now Tierney can gather possession for Leicester City. Thibault. Under pressure, but kept a hold of it, and Mouchon was the target. Cordina was the person that step across. Plenty of options on the substitutes bench for both sides. Obviously, it will be determined by either Amandine Mikel or the other side of Al to blink first, but especially on the Arsenal bench, you look at Caldente and Little and Fafadji and Blackstenius. There's plenty of options as Rantzler begins to motor forward. Mouchon, low ball in and gathered up comfortably by Van Domselaar. likewise for Leicester City. Plenty of options on the bench. Takarada, Rose and Ali Pelgander as well. Does look like there will be an early change from Jonas Eidevall, and it looks like he's going to shuffle the pack quite vigorously, although he might not need to immediately because Bott has given it to Russo. Scoops into the path of Leonardson-Mornham. You cannot give Arsenal an opportunity like that. Disaster for Leicester City. Clinically taken. Alessia Russo heavily involved, and Freda Leonardson-Mornham. CJ Bott's back pass. Russo steals in. Brilliant to just take a few seconds. Alessia Russo so calm, didn't think about trying to slide it round the goalkeeper, just waited for an option to arrive. That option was Freda Leonardson-Mornham. And it's Arsenal's number 12 that gets Jonas Eidevall's Gunners up and running here at the King Power this afternoon. 55 minutes played. And the breakthrough, which hasn't felt like it's been a game of many chances. So when that chance did arise, I knew it was going to need to be a clinical, emphatic finish, and Arsenal did take their opportunity, and now it's Leicester City perhaps who have to shuffle the pack a little bit more. I did see 3 Arsenal players. I wonder if maybe they'll be sat down, at least for the short term. It does look like they're still being given instructions, so perhaps the goal doesn't change the way that the Arsenal manager is wanting to change the game. Must be said that Leicester City did have to come from behind last weekend. It was Sophia Roman Haug who headed Liverpool in the lead, and then that clinical nature we've just seen from Arsenal is exactly the same from Leicester City, specifically Jutta Rantzler, who is now calling for the ball on the opposite flank to Missy Goodwin. Here goes Goodwin. Tangling and out for a Leicester throw-in. Looks like we will still get that Arsenal triple change. And that triple change will see Mariona Caldente, Kim Little and Stina Blackstenius come on. Kyra Cooney-Cross is the first player to depart for Kim Little. We see the goal scorer, Freda Leonardson-Mornham, to be replaced by Stina Blackstenius. And finally, Beth Mead. Mariona Caldente is the next player coming on. So, a change from Arsenal, and that's what champions do, don't they? They can make those changes and bring on the quality of Kim Little, Blackstenius, Caldente. Things aren't going right when you can look to the bench and you've got that sort of quality, that sort of experience to come on. Perhaps we'll see Blackstenius play a little bit closer to Alessia Russo as well, and maybe even see Russo drop a touch deeper. Certainly how they're lining up currently. Caldente's come over to this near side up against Tierney currently. Mace. Thibault. CJ Bott once more. Thibaut under pressure from Blackstenius. Kopp floats it forward and Rantzler can flick it onto CJ Bott. Rantzler back to Bott. Deflected and tries to nod it into a good area. Yeah, mixed messaging there between Rantzler and Bott. You could see the idea. Rantzler came short and Bott tried to play it in beyond. Here's Cordina. There's Leicester City look to make their own double change on the hour mark. Here, and it'll be Saori Takarada. It's the first one, and I think Deanne Rose will be the second change. Little pocket of space for Kim Little and just rolls it back to Laia Vauti, and now Vubben-Moy. Here goes Fox, looking towards Stina Blackstenius, and CJ Bott comes off of the standing foot and out for a corner. Having a difficult 10 minutes, CJ Bott, but has defended really well in the first half, and certainly the opening couple of weeks of the season has been absolutely brilliant. So McCabe just stands it up to a good area. It's going to come all the way through, and Vauti's going to try and keep it alive. Swung in by Fox, and Mace is the player underneath it. Did go out for a throw-in, and Fox in a hurry to restart play. Here's Little. Feel that Arsenal perhaps will have a little bit more of a foothold in the game now in controlling possession with Kim Little on the pitch as Caldente goes around the outside. Drags it infield, still going Caldente. Good tackle from Bott. Really good tackle from CJ Bott. It's one of those where Caldente's bobbing and weaving, and if you get that ever so slightly wrong, it's an Arsenal penalty, and before you know it, you're 2 down and the game's gone. But did ever so well. Ruby Mace being the first player to be withdrawn for Saori Takarada.
Being replaced by number 6, Saori Takarada. Also coming off is number 20,
and Missy Goodwin to be replaced by Deanne Rose. Howard. Lovely way to pass into Rantzler. Takarada's first touch is a little nutmeg on forward. That'll do. Now Cayman. Sending Rose chasing. Can't quite find the other substitute. Momiki pressing high. Now Cordina. Little. Caldente. McCabe. Blackstenius just forcing a little bit of pressure on Leicester City's back line, so can tuck it back to the centre halves and begin to build again with Vubben-Moy. It's a lovely ball out to Emily Fox. Ford. Fox would like it back and gets it back. Vauti. Now Cordina. Caldente darts inside and skips away from Bott. Now Little. Vauti. Caldente Lovely wriggle away from the first challenge. Blackstenius gives it back to Caldente. Number of Leicester bodies in the way. It was Sam Tierney who took a whack in the midriff. Volley clear by Bott for a few moments to regroup. Mouchon's forced to do a lot of that chasing and get very little of the ball. Cordina. CJ Bott steals in and gives it to Yuka Momiki. Asking a bit much of Deanne Rose there, I think. Little. McCabe just assessing all the options. Here goes Fox. It's a good ball into a good area. Flick out by Thibault and then Rantala. It's going to fall to McCabe. Prods it out wide to Caldente. McCabe wanted it back, instead ignored towards Little, and Momiki was having to make a last-ditch tackle to prevent any Arsenal player picking up the pieces. Valti. Caldente. Now Vubben-Moy. Ford just lays it off to Fox, trying to work an angle to perhaps get the ball into Blackstenius and Alessia Russo, are both lying in wait. Here is Stina Blackstenius. Finds a way out to Caldente. Towards the far post. Just got a hold of in time. And now, here goes Mouchon. Little nutmeg was a tidy one, but unable to gather it back in beyond. Power crowd getting behind the home team now. Caldente. Summer signing from Barcelona, Mariona Caldente, so certainly knows what it takes to be a part of a successful team. Spent a long time in Catalonia. When you spend a long time playing for Barcelona, you rack up quite the honours list. 6 Primera Division titles, 3 Champions League trophies. Plenty of Copa Catalunia's in there. World Cup winner with Spain as well. Nations League winner with Spain as well. That's the sort of quality that Arsenal really needed in the summer. I know it will be spoken about a lot, but losing your record goal scorer in Viviana Miedemar, especially to a league rival in Manchester City, even if it was part of the plan, will always be one that leaves a big void. So when you can bring in the sort of quality of Caldente, you can hang your hat on Alessia Russo leading the line well, and Beth Mead bringing that sparkle. Those gaps that perhaps could have seen unfillable don't quite seem so vast. McCabe. Earned a new squad number in the summer, of course, with the departures. Cordina. Caldente again. Since those changes, and did kind of allude to it when Kim Little came on, and Arsenal skipper now on the ball. Does feel very much like Arsenal are now going to ensure that everything is played to their tempo, everything is played to their specification. Leicester City are going to need to find an answer, going to need to try and disrupt this Arsenal rhythm, this Arsenal comfortability. Not even sure that's a word, to be honest, but they are looking very calm and composed in possession. And Leicester are going to react, in fact, because Courtney Nevin and Shana Chasanote are being given their instructions. Little. Be out for a Leicester City goal kick. Be Shana Chasanote's Leicester City debut, another player who was linked up in French football prior to touching down on English soil with Amandine Miquel.
Substitution for Leicester City.
CJ Botts.
Is number 4, CJ Botts, being replaced by number 2.
CJ Botts going to be replaced by Courtney Nevin. And then Noemi Mouchon, we believe, is going to be the second change for Leicester City. Although, prior to that, we're going to see the Arsenal change, I think. No, they are just getting it in order. Noemi Mouchon. Chasanote to be on to make their debut.
Arsenal coming off is number 11, Katie McCabe, being replaced by number 16, Rosa Kafaji.
Rosa Kafaji handing the armband over is Katie McCabe as she departs. So again, a little bit of a reshuffle as Kafaji comes on. Looks like Janice Cayman's going to come over and play on this right-hand side of a back four for Leicester City and send Courtney Nevin to left back. Now it looks like maybe even Caitlin Ford's going to go and play at left back for Arsenal. And make that the third positional change for Caitlin Ford in this game. Cordina. Less than 20 to play here at the King Power. A really close encounter so far, to be honest. It's been a game of few chances, a game of very few openings in general, until Alessia Russo snuck in, steal onto a short back pass towards Lisa Kopp in the Leicester City goal, and with a goal gaping, she picked her head up and squared it for Frida Leonardson-Mornham to tap in for the opener. Caldente into Blackstenius, back to Ford. Prodded into Little, nudges it onto Russo. Lovely little delicate flip round the corner from Alessia Russo. Really good save by Lisa Kopp. Skipped up off the ground in front of the goalkeeper. Those could be uncomfortable, but lovely bit of intricate play from Arsenal. Bit of invention from Russo as well to work the angle. Caldente. Russo. Off of Howard, and Russo will wind it back in for Arsenal. Ford. Cordina. Now Kim Little. Cordina with Fox overlapping. Hangs it up towards the centre of the box, bouncing around. Can anybody get a foot on it? And it's Sam Tierney who can to lash it clear. Valti. Foggy wants it in front. Fox. Kafaji trying to keep it in play. Does and wins the throw-in. Well played by Rosa Kafaji. It's like pausing players. Lita Kopp is in need of assistance. Let's have a little look at that. Alessia Russo chance from a few moments ago, then lovely build-up play forward involved, prods it into Little. Little nudge on to Russo, look at that. Neat little nutmeg past Nevin, goes very wide in fact, and it does. I think it might even take a nick off Momiki on its way through. It's a good save in the end by Lisa Kopp. On the side of out. Given an opportunity to get his instructions across to his team. Final 15 minutes of what has been a real tough test here at the King Power. Hark back to it again, but Matt Beard started last weekend ahead of his Liverpool team's meeting with Leicester City, saying how there will be a lot of people's surprise package this year. Jonas Eidevall kind of hinting towards a similar rhetoric. And then even the conversation of Amandine Mikel saying about how they can get something from today, but when you play teams like Arsenal, you have to be perfect. You can't allow anything to not be perfect. And you'd have to say that's absolutely spot on so far, because the one slight piece of imperfection was a short back pass that allowed Russo to nip in and create the opener. Other than that, from a defensive standpoint, they forced Arsenal to have a real look at themselves and try and find different ways to create. I think if it remains with the Gunners taking a slender 1-0 victory, there'll be many who will take a big sigh of relief, because this Leicester City team have got enough quality within it to maybe change it, although Kafoji is going to try and change that themselves. Defended well again by Leicester City. Sophie Howard once more. Here's Deanne Rose. Clever switch of play for Takarada. Howard. Needs some more options and forced to check back to Lisa Kopp. Takarada. Threaded in. First real touch we've seen of Chosanote. Amelia Pelganda is going to be the next and final Leicester City change. I believe that'll be for Sam Tierney. We'll seek confirmation once the board goes up, but here's Chosanote. Squares it. Oh, it's Janice Kamen who was arriving late. Brilliant breakaway from Leicester City. That's what they do possess. That's the quality and the danger that they can inflict on teams. Chosanote looks lively since coming on. Picks out the perfect pass as well. Threads it between the two Arsenal defenders. It's a really good save from Van Donselaar. In the blink of an eye, that's what Leicester City can offer. Rantala. Out to Momiki. Thought about the shot. Instead, goes wide to Chosanote. Now the foot race is on. Fadji and Nevin. Thibaut and Takarada unable to keep a hold of it. Now Russo. Van Domselaar. Spun forward into Kafaji, who commits the foul.
Substitution for Leicester City coming off is number 3.
Here is that Leicester City change. Santilli to be replaced by Emilia Pelganda. Final 10 minutes to play for Pelganda, who came on and made a positive impact from the substitutes bench last weekend as well. Now Caldente prods it on for Ford to chase up against Howard. Tried to play it early and Blackstenius not on the same page. Flick on is Chosanote's to chase onto. Here is Shana Chosanote, what a chance! And a big save from Daphne Van Domselaar. What a way to mark your debut, perhaps with a vital save that could see Arsenal take all 3 points. Valti immediately up the other end with Stina Blackstenius. But the flag is up for offside. In the blink of an eye, end-to-end football here at the King Power, and this game's still got a lot in it. Here's Deanne Rose. Unable to keep it in play and takes a touch off the Arsenal defender and out for a corner. What a slide pass that is in from Cayman, and early signs that Chosanote is going to be a big player for Leicester City. Been so involved since coming off the bench. It's a really good save. Really is. Could quite easily have snuck underneath. Daphne Van Domselaar stood strong, stood tall as long as possible, and then made the save. All the way over to Chosanote. Swept clear. Leicester City know there's something in this for them. Certainly not wilted in the final exchanges of this one. Momiki. Takarada tries to flick it on, but it's intercepted by Ford. Good tackle from Momiki. Little. Cordina. Lovely ball to Caldente. Stayed on side and drives away from Takarada. Mariona Caldente reversed it into Stina Blackstenius. Chopping and changing direction, catching get the shot off. Charged down in the end by Thibaut. Arsenal corner, which won't be a huge hurry to take. Perhaps nudged along the way though by the officials. Daphne Van Domselaar, who had that discomfort in the first half, may not be able to finish this afternoon because once again needing the assistance of the Arsenal physios. Let's have a look at the difference then so far in this game. After such a really strong first half performance, CJ Bott will be really disappointed in that one, although so much still for Russo to do. You cannot understate how good a little clip ball that is through to Frida Leonardson-Mornham. And you can see as well, Arsenal's number 12 immediately pointing back to Alessia Russo to acknowledge the impact. Supremely done. Thankfully, Van Domselaar is back up on their feet. Never want to see a player unable to complete the afternoon, and with only 5 minutes to go, you'd hope that's only a precaution and won't affect her fitness for the rest of the game. Corner to be taken, headed away at the near post by Nevin. Scoop ball into Caldente. Up against Momiki. Keeps a hold of it, retains possession, adds a little bit more composure into this Arsenal team, and tries to bounce it through to Kafaji, who is penalised for what they will say is a shoulder to shoulder on Takarada. Pelganda. Nevin. Perhaps need to see a little bit more urgency from Leicester City in the closing stages. They've certainly started to make ground in this game since going behind, and in a game with very, very little between the two, they will feel this is still an opportunity and there is time. We are talking about an Arsenal team who have been there and done it and wear the t-shirt on a regular basis, lift the trophies on a regular basis. When you're talking about teams that get over the line and find a way, there aren't many better in the business than Arsenal. And although this isn't quite the pressure cooker situation that they've been in their illustrious history, they will need to dip into some of that experience, and having players like Kim Little on the ball and being able to relax play and keep a hold of possession for sustained periods of time and just almost try and draw all the emotion and the hope out of this Leicester City team. Although with Jutta Rantzler on the ball, I was going to say there is hope building. However, it's not sustained hope, and it's through to Daphne Van Domselaar. Lovely layoff from Russo. Really, really good centre-forward play. Little into Caldente. Takarada steals it away, though. Rose is fouled by Caitlin Ford. Just over 2 minutes to play here at the King Power Stadium. We still are separated by Leonardson-Mornham with the opener after some really fantastic play from Alessia Russo to nip in behind and keep things ticking over when back pass towards Lisa Kopp was short. We are getting word that there's still plenty to play in this. 7 added minutes are being spoken about, which I think is quite generous, to be honest. I don't remember there being too many stoppages. Howard. And Domselaar will no doubt take as long as possible to give her team a nudge towards the finishing line. Vabenmoy. Van Domselaar's pass was misplaced. Momiki. Vabenmoy back to Codina, a little bit under hit then maybe from Lotte Vabenmoy. Cayman. Howard spins it out towards Rose. The header by Emily Fox is encouraging Leicester City to get further up the pitch and encouraging their supporters to get behind them. They're only seconds away from the board being raised and everybody's fate being sealed in terms of how long we have to play here, how long Leicester City have got to react, how long Arsenal have got to see themselves over the line and get that first win chalked up for the season in the WSL.
The official has indicated a minimum of 7 minutes added time to be played. That's 7 minutes.
It is 7 added minutes. Valti. Ford. Van Domselaar. Lotte Vabenmoy again. Nevin does well, first and second attempts. Now Takarada. Janice Cayman with a little bit of space, the Leicester City captain. The long diagonal to Deanne Rose seemed to be an option instead. Go short to Chosanote. Caldente is the Arsenal player on hand to nip in and get a toe on it. Codina. Kim Little wants it in that little pocket of space and just bounces it back to Codina. Supremely experienced Kim Little. Bags of Scotland caps, well over 100 caps for Scotland. Approaching 200 WSL appearances. Exactly the kind of player you want to bring on in a situation like this as Momiki seeks out a long ranger. Rantala into Yuka Momiki. It opened up, you could see why the effort was on. Not a million miles away. Codina. Blackstenius. Now Cayman. Chosanote. Really impressive debut from Shana Chosanote. Certainly won't be the last we see of her this season, and very nearly something to take away with it potentially. Now Caldente. Blackstenius ahead, and on the far side is Kafaji. Here is Kafaji to seal it. Lovely little step over and a really good save from Lisa Kopp. That could have and should have been the game. Rosa Kafaji knows that. Lisa Kopp, once again, such an important save. You see goalkeepers almost guessing that situation and have to react early. Lisa Kopp stays up as long as possible, forces Kafaji to make the decision, and then makes a really good save. It's a lovely ball in from Caldente. Looked like the chance had gone. Lovely little drag back, and then tries to zip it in at the near post, and it's a good save from Lisa Kopp. How important could that prove to be if there is another Leicester City chance in this game? Will Arsenal rue that one? Towards the centre of the area, headed away by Howard. Here is Kafaji. Blocked again by Howard. Deanne Rose gets there first, and now the breakaway could be on. Deanne Rose beginning to skip forward. Pulled down cynically. Running back was Codina, who Gets a little high five. They know that it's an important yellow. Prevents any early and potentially devastating Leicester City counter-attack. Now Thibaut stands over it. Less than 3 minutes left of the 7. 3 minutes away from what will be a very gratefully accepted and hard-fought 3 points for Jonas Eidevall. Chosanote. So many Arsenal shirts ahead of her. Forced to go back to Pelganda. Thibaut. Deanne Rose. First touch just opened the door a little bit to Fox, but one back by Nevin. Now Rose again. And Salah will be in no hurry to restart play here. Leicester have got a couple of intriguing fixtures ahead. They have a Conti Cup game against Bristol City on the horizon in midweek, before Crystal Palace trip north to play here at the King Power. Then, not quite sure we'd quantify it as a Midlands derby just yet, but it might be in a couple of weeks. Aston Villa versus Leicester City. And an Arsenal change. Katie Reid is on for Caitlin Ford. Reid, who made their debut in Arsenal's 5-0 win against Bristol City at the tail end of last season's WSL. England under-19 international. Gets the final few minutes here. Here's Pelganda. Blackstenius. I wouldn't pay too much attention to the clock in the corner because a few stoppages in there, so it will be down to the discretion of the referee. Although only the 20 seconds of the 7 remain, as Leicester City definitely running out of time. Here's Sakurada. Out to Chosanote. Floated in towards Rantala. Now Caldente. And Reid. Little. Russo shows a little bit too much of it to Momiki. And gets it back, Yuka Momiki. Under pressure, Julia Thibaut. Howard. Towards Deanne Rose. Good header by Fox, who deserves a lot of plaudits for the way that they've played this afternoon. A late call-up, a late change due to an injury in the warm-up for Laura Vuonreuter. And then to step in and make such an assured, confident performance at full-back for Arsenal. And there is the full-time whistle here at the King Power. Arsenal have been made to work for it. My word, they've had to work for it. Jonas Eidevall will be very pleased to take 3 points back down the M1 to the capital. Leicester City, last week it was all about the start of a new era, the start of a directional change, and certainly on the evidence of 180 minutes of football played in the WSL, they might only have a point on the board, but they will take a lot more than that this season. A really, really engaging affair here at the King Power. A very, very tight one to call, and it ended up being decided by a short back pass which Alessia Russo latched onto, squared it for Frida Leonardson Mornum, and then that was all she wrote. A really, really good game of football It's finished here at the King Power. Leicester City 0, Arsenal 1. Let's have a look at